So excited about this.
It's the sauce on this that I think, how did that come to from just water? You know, I mean, think if I cook from scratch, we're talking typically sour cream, cream cheese, butter. Those are all ingredients if I make this by scratch. Why is this figured out how to do it with water?
That is really delicious.
I like that one.
And can we put the full screen up of what you're getting and kind of break it down for us? Because I know there's a few more things in there
There's a lot of different meals, and each and every one of them appeals to someone and tastes great. So here's a look at everything that is coming to you within the 158 serving bucket. Again, we are getting 10 lunch and dinner style entrees. Those include the creamy vegetable rotini, the cheesy macaroni, pasta alfredo that Suzanne is now a big fan of, the hearty tortilla soup, the chicken noodle soup, tomato basil soup, Southwest rice and beans, ability to make the instant white fluffy rice, teriyaki rice is one of my favorites. If you like a little tang, it's there. Lasagna, stroganoff, and then 3 grain cereals, an apple cinnamon, a brown sugar maple, and this is new, organic oatmeal, because the customers had asked for something organic, and I'll tell you why I love that in just a minute when we get through the list here. Also the ability to make yogurt. We have to resample the vanilla pudding because it is amazing.
We love that.
And then the ability to make the pitchers of whey milk. In the factory, first comes the recipes, right? Why does that pasta Alfredo taste so good? Because a chef wrote the recipe to make sure that it is seasoned and flavored and textured like real food. This is not stereotypical emergency food. Erase that from your mind. But what really separates Wise is the packaging. The scientists have put together the packaging. They call it a modified atmospheric package. What does that mean to you? That means everything that makes food go bad, humidity, oxygen, is shut out once the food, bugs, yeah, that's a gross list, but very accurate. It's all shut out of here, and Wise has figured out a way to keep those amazing, great chef recipes sealed safely in here for up to 25 years. So all I do is bring this into my home, I keep it in a cool, dry place, and anytime I want it for the next 25 years, creamy vegetable pasta takes absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it does. And they're satisfying. You know, again, it's one of those things that's, well, you might have a couple cans in your cabinet in an emergency. You're like, really? All I have is some, you know, tomatoes in a can. It's like, that's not satisfying. And when everybody's in an emergency, you're already panicked and you're upset and, you know, things just aren't going well. You don't want food to be something you have to be concerned about. Do you get insurance for your car? Why? Because you don't have to worry about somebody hitting you or you hitting someone else. You feel a sense of security. Do you get insurance on your house? Well, of course you do, because if it burns down, you go, well, I know I'm covered. It's bad, but I know I'm covered. Why do we not think about insurance on one of the things that's most important in our life, and that is getting something to eat?
It's food insurance.
It
That's
truly
the way you
is.
can look at this.
And I have to thank Wise, because I've actually had this for my host pick multiple times. That's how good this is. That's how important and vital I think this is for everybody to have. And it's sold out many times for my host pick. This is an awesome offer. The retail value, if you went to Weiss website and you were trying to pull all this together to get enough to feed one person for a month, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you would spend almost $300 to match what Wise has put in this container for you tonight. And unfortunately, we only have about 1,000 left, and then these are completely gone. But get ahead of the game. Did you go through that emergency? Do you have Wise food? You know, it would be interesting, because we've got a couple of minutes. Please call us and say, what was the point that you went, I'm getting that, and tell us why. What was your aha moment that you ordered it from HSN and maybe you have it at home? Or did you just go through something recently, maybe it's all these nor'easters, and you said, boy, I'm not gonna go through a winter like that again without having it, and you're ordering it now. So please come through and share your story, because it can make a big difference in someone else's life.
It certainly could, and we love how we can encourage and support each other to make those great decisions. Something that really strikes home for me, this is a customer pick. And when I first started to see that developing, and we've been doing this for several years. I believe we're close to 200,000 sold, which I love that so many people are making great decisions for their family. But a customer pick on emergency food, I thought, gosh, I hope all these people aren't having emergencies. Well, we know you're not. You're getting it home and you're curious, right? You're making an investment and you think, I'm gonna try this. And this is the #1 thing I encourage you to do. Get this home, open the bucket, go ahead and use 1 pouch. Obviously, we want you to set some aside. We want you to be making sure your family is prepared for the unexpected, but give it a try. In fact, don't even tell your family what it is. And this is the game we've had several of our callers come and tell us about. Put it on the table. You'll never know that it wasn't a meal you spent hours preparing, something that's made from completely fresh ingredients. And when you tell your family, hey, honestly, this is our emergency food, and we have this just in case whatever should happen in our lives. I guarantee you your family will be proud of you and touched that you have made the decision to do this. And I guarantee you they'll also be floored by the fact that it tastes like real food, because it is real food. And that's the difference with Wise. Let's take a little bit more of a tour, because we haven't finished talking about all the ingredients and also the entrees. This is a massive bowl of organic oatmeal. So when we talk about serving size, you can see that this is certainly a plentiful serving. But again, showing that people do use this outside of just emergency preparedness, Wise customers asked for organic oatmeal, because we do have the hikers, we do have the hunters, we do have people who are camping, and the organic ingredients were important to them. Quite honestly, in an emergency, I am not going to be picky about whether this is organic or not. But if I'm going to also incorporate this into a busy work week, my recreational out and about, organic's important to the customers. So Wise certainly always listens and responds, so therefore the organic oatmeal. The tomato basil soup is the wonderful kind of marriage of flavor, spice, and consistency. Because you know it's tricky to cook a soup and not have the pasta turn to mush. Right. But yet simply by adding water, Wise has figured that out.
Well, you make me laugh. How difficult is it making pasta, boiling pasta in an emergency?
Right.
Think about it. You have to boil the pasta, then somehow you got to mix and heat up all the other stuff to go on top of the pasta. Again, add water. You're done. It can be hot, it can be cold.
So how does cold water make the perfect pasta consistency? That is something the scientists have figured out, and they have not explained it to me.
That's a great point.
All you need to know is that any type of water, any temperature of water, brings every one of these meals to life.
Can you stir that too?
I will absolutely
these are not just little pieces of teeny pasta.
Oh, no.
I mean,
all
these
the
are
way deep down.
Pasta.
Look at that.
Yeah, it's not just little crumbs of pasta. It's real pasta, and you're not making it. That you add the water to the bag, and this is what happens. Or you put it, you know, on, if you got a heat source, you can use that.
You can, but you don't have to. And you know what? I'll go one step further and have you taste this room temperature, because you won't hate it. You won't hate it at all. You'll like it better cold. I mean, warm. Let's not make bones about that. But when you try it, the flavor is there. So in an emergency, I took room temperature water and I made this.
That is delicious.
You know what? Guy is in love with this soup.
Oh my gosh, wait a minute. The tomatoiness, it's like think of a really expensive restaurant that does a beautiful tomato bisque. Yes. It reminds me of a tomato bisque.
Restaurant.
Oh my gosh, I've never had that before. That is so good.
Well, I like it room temperature, actually.
I do too. It's like, you know how they serve you cold soup in a fancy restaurant?
Here we are, we have arrived.
It kind of tastes like that. Also, it's really funny, Catherine goes, when you get into the pudding, because this is the one that if you really are an emergency, maybe you have little ones or you just need it, it's so soul satisfying, because it really does. You have dessert, which is so nice.
And not just any dessert. I mean, again, my grandmother taught me how to separate the yolks and make the homemade pudding very carefully, you know, keeping the heat under control to get that ultimate creaminess and all that. Or Wise has figured out how you simply add water, and the most amazing pudding literally comes to fruition in just moments.
And show them what it looks
will,
like.
Of course, the end result is even more amazing. So it is thick, it is creamy, it is rich, it is happening before our eyes. And it is such a smart thing to include, because honestly, if you're in a power outage situation for a week, as we hear was very normal during the nor'easters, or whether you've had to go stay with a friend and you know, you don't want to raid their cabinet all the time, you can bring your food with you. It's just nice to have a little pudding.
I'm getting my spoon.
Yeah, she's all ready to dig in. You're going to have the whole bowl.
And look how quick it all is. It's not like if you're really hungry and everybody's looking at you and you're like, oh my gosh, I got to feed everybody. It's not like you're spending hours in an emergency trying to figure out how to eat. Or you're not putting together what the few cans you have in the cabinet and then a couple things that you found in the fridge before the fridge goes all warm. This is ready. It's there. And then you know what? You can focus on the things that matter. Maybe it is getting the roof repaired. Maybe it is you're in the car and you're having to move quickly. Maybe it is, oh my goodness, you know, we're in a flooding situation and we've got to go upstairs. I mean, we heard a lot of people in Houston. In fact, one of of my best friends lived out there, and her parents had to be transferred 3 times to get them out of harm's way. She was scared to death. They had this with them, guess what? They pick it up, and even when they're being moved from place to place,
take it with you.
They've got their food with them. Guys, it's just a smart idea. If you buy insurance in your car and insurance on your house, maybe you have life insurance, why do you not have food insurance? And this is just buy it once and you're done. Okay, I gotta try it.
She's going into the pudding. And
it's so good.
That is just a fun addition.
And I know it's good because I've had it many times. It's really good.
And they ask me every time, are we gonna make the pudding? Yes, we're gonna make the pudding.
Thank you for making the pudding.
You know, a couple of things I thought while you were talking. Check the cans in your cabinet. They don't last for 25 years. In fact, if you have put together any type of preparedness or survival, we call them hurricane kits in Florida, but whatever they are, those need to be replaced every year. Think about the money there. By the time you buy the food, oh, well, guess I either have to eat a bunch of food all of a sudden because my time is up and then replace it. This is one and done for 25 years. Cans go bad. Cans are heavy to carry if you have to evacuate. Cans don't have full, phenomenally tasting meals ready to go in them unless they have a ton of preservatives, unless they have extra salt. These foods do not last for 25 years because of the weird additives. They last for 25 years because of the packaging. This is what sets Wise apart from every other emergency food out there and from anything that you have in your cupboard. The packaging is the difference. The foods taste phenomenal, but a lot of us can make foods that taste great, but can you make food that tastes great that only needs water? The water doesn't have to be hot, but the food will still taste great, and the texture will be perfect, even with cold water. And oh, by the way, all those great things are true for the next 25 years. It starts to sound so simple when you break it down like that. For me, it also gets real simple when we look at serving size. I do have a large family. So for me, when I see something like 158 servings, I think, okay, that's gonna have to stretch to work in my house. But when you look at the different meals, which are very hearty, which are very filling, and then you look at the size of what a pouch makes and what a serving size makes. So in front of us here, this is the cheesy macaroni. I'm gonna move the cute little parsley just to show you sizes really here. Good. It is amazing, by the way, and room temperature. You should try this because you know what? We are not trying to make this fancy. This is emergency food. So I'm gonna divide my platter into quarters. Look at the size. I'd estimate that to be a good solid 1.5 cups of substantial pasta flavored with cheese.
Oh, so good.
Almost like a little bit of smoke in it. Do you taste that? I'm thinking there must be like a little ham or it's got a little kick in it. Yeah. Again, this is not the blue box macaroni. This is the real deal. It tastes like you've made it homemade. But more importantly, the servings are hearty, the flavors are there. 70 cents a serving. I can't get anything into my home for that. And you know, we talk about the various types of emergencies. I remember very well being a single working mother with young children. You do get sick occasionally. We always say it can't happen to mom, but mom does. And I would have done anything to have food that could have just gotten on the table so that I could work on getting better. If there's an illness in the family, if there's a family member, whether it's a college kid or a grandmother that you know isn't eating well enough, 158 servings, send up a few pouches. Pack it away for your family or for the person you're worried about first of all.
Here's some math for you.
Okay.
In 25 years, if you never touch it, you're only spending, what was it, $4.40 over 25 years.
Wow.
And for all that food. And the neat thing about it is you get it at home and then it's one and done. I mean, obviously, if you use it, you know, you're gonna have to replace it, but you get it at home and then for the next 25 years, you don't ever have to even think about it. In fact, I have never forgotten I have this at home, only because it's always sort of in the back of the mind that if I do need it, it's there, but I never worry about food anymore. My producer, Catherine, too, we all went through that big hurricane thing, you know, last year. Catherine said, she spent more on canned goods to try to get through the hurricane because everybody was hoarding them than she did if she just would have bought this. And it's only a couple cans.
Absolutely.
I mean, think about how much a bell...
And it isn't good food, probably.
Think about how much is one bell pepper.
A buck, $2?
70 cents for a serving.
Right.
You know, think about,
I see what you're saying.
How do you feed a family on a bell pepper?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
You can't. Or you have this and it's ready to go. And again, we hope you never have to use it. We hope you never even have to open it up, although most everybody tries it.
As well you should.
They want to see if it's that good. And we still have a great return policy. Get it at home. If you open it up and eat a little bit of it and you taste it and you say, no, send it back. We want you to be happy. But I just don't want you to miss out on this. And and here's why. The introductory price is great. You're saving what, almost, well, $40 right now. So $40, who don't want to save money. Off of the Wise online, the Wise.com pricing, you're saving almost like $160. It's
and
huge.
Actually even more, I think, because
really?
that is the HSN price that we're showing you there. If you go to Wise.com and you look up the amount of servings, it was close to $400.
Really?
Absolutely.
Wow.
And that's
because our retail must be conservative then.
Correct.
We're at $274.
Correct.
Yeah, so you can't match it on their site. You will not find a better value. And you get great variety. That's nice too. And remember, breakfast, lunch, dinner. Guys, if you do me a favor, can we put up how many people this will feed? Because I think you look at this little container and you can see, I can hold it. Look, there it is. There's a container. And you think, oh my gosh, that's going to feed one person for a couple days.
Yes, no, it is jam-packed. Seriously, 158 servings is enough food, and these, again, are full meals. One person for an entire month's supply of food. For 2 people, it is a 2-week supply of food, and for a family of 4 is enough for 1 week. Again, 10 lunch and dinner main-style entrees, 3 different grain cereals, the ability to make yogurt, the ability to make vanilla pudding, and whey milk. So we've put this together trying to kind of cover all bases for all different types of families.
And Stephanie, can I add, we do have additional items, and most people get them because you get this and then you want to kind of beef it up a little bit more. And just real quick, I know we're going to get to them in a minute, so stay with us, but we have 42 servings of the meat protein with rice. If you want to add that to what you have, you can add the meats. We have an 88 serving fruit and dessert, which everybody loves that.
The fruits are very popular.
We have 128 servings of the extra veggies and sauces, and we have the 144 servings of the eggs, plus we have 118 servings. It's called the Meal Booster Pack. So if you want to get and just take this a little farther, if you wanted to extend it a bit more, if you want more variety beyond this, lots of variety, but if you just want more, just remember we have this additional items, and I just wanted to mention those.
Also very popular. So I just pulled out the savory stroganoff. So again, a recipe that is not easy to make at home, yet Wise is able to do it with simply by adding water. Do you like that one? You've had all new ones tonight. I like this.
I'm so excited.
I tricked you a little bit.
You did.
Again, we're using water, and that's all we need. It doesn't need to be hot water. It doesn't need any type of cooking. Some foods that are called emergency actually require simmering, and that makes no sense to me, because unless you have a gas stove or unless you have a propane source or the ability to light a grill, which we all know is not always the case, then you can't simmer the food. This is food that becomes a meal simply by adding water. You can pour that water right into the pouch, give it a stir, and in 10 minutes, you will have a meal that tastes like it's supposed to at the right consistency. This is perfect for power outages. Power goes out when we're not even having emergencies, you know? There's a car accident, a transformer blows. I mean, things happen. The list of things that can happen in life is so long. The list of things that you can do to relieve your family's stress actually gets very simple. You need shelter, you need food, and you need to know each other is safe, and you need to have water. That part you have to take care of. But outside of those things, it gets very simple. But this is one of those things. This is not something you can leave off the list. FEMA says that to be truly prepared in life, we all should have a 2-week food supply for everybody in the household in your pantry. Think about your pantry right now. Take a walk over there and check it out. 2 weeks? Can you do it? Honestly, before Wise, 2 days is about as good as it probably would have gotten at my house. I've learned so much from this company. They are a U.S. company. They're based in Utah, family created, honestly, just great American people. When some of the things that happened in 2017 impacted other parts of the country, they were there. I remember we actually had our big Today special just after the very devastating Houston floods, and they told me we had to hold product to get it here to HSN because so many people needed us in Houston, and we are working round the clock to get more and more down there. This company was created to help people like us. They want all of us to be okay no matter what happens. Maybe it's flooding. We're heading into spring season. All that snow that has fallen on the Northeast, here comes the meteorologist back out in me after many years. All those nor'easters, that stuff's gotta melt. That goes into the creeks, that goes into the rivers, those rivers rise. It's gonna be a big spring flood season. Well, are you ready?
And I think that's the thing, is so many of us wait, and all of a sudden the emergency happens, and then we buy it after it happens. And then those of you who are really smart go, hey, I'm ready, and when the emergency happens, you go, That's one thing I don't have to worry about. I just want you to see too, look how big these bags are. They're not, you know, think about this. This is a bag. Look at my hand. I mean, that's really a nice big bag full of delicious food that are made by chefs. So when you are in that crazy situation and the last thing you want to worry about is food, this is going to be there ready for you. And again, be proactive. You know, I do think we all wait and then something happens and then we have, oh gosh, now I'm going to get it. Maybe you just went through that. Maybe you're watching right now and you said, yeah, man, it got kind of desperate in a couple days because we were sort of looking at the cans in the cabinet and it wasn't that appetizing. Have this, you put it away, and for 25 years, check it off your list. It is like the biggest weight off your shoulders knowing that you're gonna be able to eat. And I love what Stephanie said earlier. All of us define emergencies differently. It could be a financial emergency, you know? It could be, hey, I've got extra people and I need to feed them. It could be you're a hunter, you go camping, you love to go tenting. Maybe you go out and you're a hiker. You're gonna love it for that purpose. We know there's a lot of people who go hunting and they wanna take food with them. It's so easy. You grab the bucket and out the door you go. And you know, Stephanie, I love some of the reviews because I think they really do speak volumes. Younger Rose in Virginia said, feeling very reassured.
I love that.
And that's kind of the heart and soul of it.
That's kind of the point.
Yeah. Tweety Bird in Florida said, a good kit to have on hand, especially since we have hurricanes, and we have a lot of Floridians on this list right here. Great food, it's easy to prepare. And when a disaster happens, we all need to be able to take care of ourselves. This kit is a great start. That was from a gal in Washington State. Interesting, right?
And I like the point about taking care of yourself too, because here's the thing. We know that when bad things happen, obviously volunteers, families, people come together to lend a helping hand. That's who we all are. But don't want to have to count on that. You know, that's just a bonus should you be in that situation. Take care of yourself, take care of your family, take care of those close to you, because I appreciate and respect all the different ways and agencies that we have to help other people. But think about it, in any kind of disaster, you're not the only one having a disaster. You will be dealing with so many other people desperately needing the same things you and your family may need. This takes care of your own. What a relief to know that your people are okay, your family is okay. The people that you want to protect and make secure will be okay. And oh, by the way, it tastes great. And an emergency to me may be a Tuesday night when I haven't been home in a very long time.
That's right.
I'm sure my family would like a decent meal. And suddenly creamy vegetable rotini is available like that. Hey, working moms, it's okay. You know, I mean, get it out occasionally. Isn't that great? I'm telling you, I've used this as a side dish when all I did was manage to grill a burger and think, ooh, they really need something with that. How about some rice?
There you go.
You know, it tastes that good.
And we want you to watch this real quick.
I mean, I don't have to add any other vegetables, any other seasonings. It's all in there. It's really easy.
You know, that part of your life is not going to be in some kind of upheaval. It's pretty much what mom would put on the table.
One of the coolest things about having an emergency plan is being able to check off how you're going to get your water and how you're going to get your food, because those two staples, once you've kind of put those in the back of your mind, right, and you know that those are already taken care of, then it leaves you a lot more bandwidth to focus on what else might be happening.
You know, and all those points are so true. You know what I mean?
Well, it's what we talked about, that when you can check this off the list, then you can think about the other things. Because as we've said, if you are breaking into your emergency food, there's probably something going on in your life. Don't let the food be the stress. I mean, honestly, on a daily basis, most of us know that getting meals on the table is stressful and work. I mean, it's hard to do. So when all those other things are going on, I don't want to have to worry about who's eating and how we're going to eat. I want to be able to focus on getting things repaired, getting to safe places. The food comes with you. This is grab and go. This is a bucket that is waterproof, bug-proof. It is sturdy. I mean, you can sit, stand, use it as a ladder.
Well, and you know what? If you need to buy this for somebody else, you know, maybe you have some. I had a full conversation with a lot of like 20-somethings, my nephews and everybody in their 20s. And I said, so what did you guys do to be prepared for the hurricane when it was going to hit here in Florida? And they said, oh, we went and bought frozen pizza. And I'm like, and then it dawned on them. It dawned on them. They go, wait, how are we going to cook it? And it's frozen.
Right.
So like, it's not going to stay frozen for very long.
Right.
They just really didn't think through it. So maybe you do have someone who's younger, in their 20s, and they just don't think about that kind of thing. Buy it tonight for them. Use our FlexPay. You pay it off in 5 months. You get it right away. We can even send it directly to them. So to your point, if you have someone who's not eating right, maybe someone who just can't cook like they used to, and you're kind of concerned about having a little extra food for them, we will ship it directly to another address. We'll direct ship for you. So think about somebody that you are concerned about, or maybe they live in an area that's really prone to disasters. I hate to say it, but that's pretty much everywhere now, unfortunately.
Yes.
But we know hurricane season for us. We've got tornado season, you know, coming up for the Midwest. You know, we talk about, unfortunately, the fires out in California. What do you do when you got to leave your house instantly like those poor folks did?
Yep.
Some of them only had minutes to get out. You grab this and you're running out with the kids and your purse and your cell phone and you're trying to get out of there.
And you'll be so thankful at that point that food is part of the equation, because again, there's going to be other things that come up. There's going to be other things to worry about. This takes out the stress of food. It is 158 servings. The value is amazing, less than 70 cents a serving. And here's the thing, Wise Company and HSN partner together typically 2 times a year for something you know well, of course. We call them our Today's Specials. This is a Today's Special bucket. In fact, Suzanne knows this was a late ad and a little bit of a surprise.
That's right.
It is very rare. In fact, I'm not ever sure I have done a Today's Special offer outside of a Today's Special.
That's actually a good point.
This is rare that we have this volume at the value
this price.
at this
Yeah,
price,
right.
that we're able to do that. And I think the timing couldn't be better. You know, winter doesn't seem to be ending. We all know that spring and summer bring different challenges. All I have to do is think about 2017 and think all bets are off. You just don't know. So I love that we're able to do this. Don't wait until the storm has a name, until the power's already out.
Well,
until
then it's too late.
Then it's too late.
You know
exactly.
that. And also, if you want to make it even better value, hey, get our HSN card tonight, because guess what? Whatever you buy at that moment, once you're approved for it, you save an additional $10. So now this goes down to $99.95, and you still get your 5 flex. And look at the shipping, by the way. This is not a pair of earrings.
No, it's solid.
It's solid.
Yeah.
It's $12.95 just to ship it to you, and that's still a good price from us. It's absolutely free, so you even save more money then. All right, we're going to wrap up, and we're going to move over to the accessory pieces.